That frustrating moment when you realize you're already doing the one thing you promised yourself you'd stop? That's not a failure of willpower. It's a brain glitch. And I'm about to show you the 5-minute fix. You decide you're going to stop, but you're already doing it. Your brain's autopilot is running your worst habits before you even realize what's happening. You plan to be focused, and then bam! You're already scrolling through your phone. You decide to eat healthy, but somehow a cookie just appears in your hand, and you don't even remember picking it up. It's a super frustrating, demoralizing cycle. It feels like you failed, like you just don't have the discipline or willpower to follow through. But what if I told you this isn't a failure of willpower? What if it's not your fault at all? The problem isn't you. It's a glitch in your brain's ancient wiring. Habits are wired deep into a part of your brain that runs automatic behaviors, a system that saves you energy, but also makes those bad habits incredibly hard to change. This system was built for survival, not for a world filled with notifications, junk food, and constant triggers. But here's the good news. Science shows you can interrupt this entire automatic process. You can literally snap out of the autopilot. And you don't need to fight a brutal war against yourself. In fact, fighting your own biology is exactly why most people fail. The winning strategy is to work with your brain's wiring, not against it. In this video, I'm going to show you a simple, science-backed 5-minute technique to do just that. It doesn't require superhuman willpower, just a few minutes of awareness to interrupt the loop and take back the power of choice. Section 1. The autopilot brain. Why willpower always fails. Before we get to the solution, you have to understand the problem. Why does telling yourself to just stop feel completely impossible? It's because you're picking a fight with a part of your brain that is way older, faster, and more powerful than your conscious mind. For years, we've been told that breaking a bad habit is all about discipline, grit, and pure force of will. But this is a huge misunderstanding of how habits actually work. It often feels like willpower is a finite resource, like a phone battery that just runs out. Every conscious choice you make all day, what to wear, what to say, resisting your phone, drains that battery. So what takes over at the end of a long, stressful day when you're running on empty? The autopilot. This autopilot system is governed by something scientists sometimes call the habit loop. Think of it as a simple 3-part process: cue, routine, and reward. The cue is the trigger. It's the signal that tells your brain to go into automatic mode. Cues can be anything: a time of day, a place, or a feeling like boredom or stress. The routine is the bad habit itself. It can be physical, like biting your nails, or mental, like spiraling into negative thoughts. And the reward is the payoff. This is what your brain gets that reinforces the loop. Often, this reward system involves the brain chemical dopamine, which tells your brain, "Hey, that was good, let's do it again." This makes the habit feel satisfying and worth repeating. This whole process is heavily influenced by a deep, ancient part of your brain called the basal ganglia. Think of the basal ganglia as your brain's habit factory. Its main job is to turn repeated actions into automatic routines, so your conscious brain, the prefrontal cortex, can save energy for new problems. This is an amazing evolutionary advantage. It's how you can drive a car while thinking about other things. The behavior becomes so automatic you don't even have to think about it. But here's the glitch. This ancient system isn't designed for the modern world. Your brain can't tell a good habit from a bad one. It just knows that a certain cue, followed by a routine, leads to a reward signal. The reward from checking social media is a hit of novelty. The reward from a sugary snack is a quick burst of energy. Your brain learns to crave that feeling. In fact, research shows that eventually, the brain's reward signal can fire in anticipation of the reward the second you see the cue. That is the feeling of craving, that intense, unstoppable pull. So when you try to use willpower to just stop, you're putting your slow, logical brain against the fast, automatic, habit-driven brain. It's an unfair fight. You're not just fighting a behavior. You're fighting a deeply ingrained, neurologically powered loop that's running without your permission. That's why the solution isn't more willpower. The solution is to interrupt the loop itself. Section 2. The 5-minute brain hack. Reclaiming control. This brings us to the 5-minute brain hack. This isn't a magic trick, but it's a powerful skill rooted in mindfulness. The goal isn't to crush an urge, which can actually make it stronger. The goal is to create a tiny bit of space between the cue and the routine, to drag the unconscious process into the conscious light. In that space, you find your power to choose. The whole thing is just 3 simple steps, designed to be used the second you feel the pull of an old habit. Step 1. The pause and identify. The first minute. The very first step is the most important one, and it's simply this. Pause. The moment you feel that familiar urge, that pull toward the old habit, you consciously stop. If you're reaching for your phone, literally freeze your hand. If you're walking to the kitchen for a snack you don't need, just stop. Then, name the urge. You can do this in your head, or even say it out loud. Ah, there it is, the urge to procrastinate. Or, I'm feeling the pull to check my email again. Or, this is the craving for a donut. This simple act of naming it does something incredible in your brain. It takes an unconscious, automatic process and makes it conscious. It creates a separation between you, the one who's watching, and the urge, the feeling itself. You are not your urges. You are the one who notices them. In a way, you're basically switching on the lights in a dark room by engaging the thinking part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex. You've just interrupted the autopilot. Let's try it. Imagine you're working on a hard report. You feel that wave of, ugh, and your hand automatically moves to open social media. The moment you notice that, you pause. No judgment. You just say, there's the urge to avoid this. That's it. That's minute 1. You've successfully stopped the loop. Another one. You have a stressful meeting. Immediately after, you want a sugary donut. Before you move, you pause. Take 1 deep breath and identify it. This is the urge for comfort food because I'm stressed. You haven't fought it. You've just seen it. This is the first step to taking back control. Step 2. The mindful inquiry, the next 2 minutes. Now that you've paused and become aware, you get curious. For the next 2 minutes, you become a detective. You're not judging, you're just investigating. You gently ask yourself one powerful question. What am I really looking for right now? Bad habits are almost never about the thing itself. They are usually just clumsy attempts to escape an uncomfortable feeling. The urge for the cookie isn't really about the cookie, it might be about seeking comfort. The urge to scroll isn't about information. It's often about escaping boredom or anxiety. So, in these 2 minutes, you explore that. Habit. Procrastinating on the report. Inquiry. What am I really trying to avoid here? As you sit with that, an answer might pop up. Maybe you're afraid of failing. Maybe the task just feels huge and overwhelming. So the real need isn't social media. The real need is for safety, or a small sense of accomplishment. Habit. Craving the donut. Inquiry. What feeling is this donut supposed to fix? You might realize you're feeling drained or anxious. The donut represents a quick and easy hit of comfort. The real need isn't sugar. The real need is for genuine stress relief. This phase is about understanding the job your bad habit is trying to do. Once you know what that job is, you can find a better, healthier way to do it. You can't just get rid of a habit. You have to replace it. Step 3. The conscious choice. The final 2 minutes. You've paused. You've gotten curious. You've found the real need behind the urge. Now, in the final 2 minutes, you've created a window of opportunity to make a new choice. You've gone from an automatic reaction to a conscious response. The key here is not to be perfect, but just to make a better choice, even a tiny one. The goal is to pick a new, healthy action that addresses the need you just uncovered. This is your replacement habit. Let's connect our new choices to the needs we found. If your real need is to escape overwhelm, instead of social media, your new choice could be to break the task into one tiny step. Like, just write the first sentence, or just open the document. Set a timer for 5 more minutes, and do only that tiny piece. This new behavior gives you that sense of accomplishment you were craving. If your real need is for comfort and stress relief, instead of the donut, your new choice could be to do 5 slow, deep breaths. Or put on one song you love and just listen. Or step outside for 2 minutes of fresh air. These actions give your nervous system the same signal of relief without the sugar crash. If your real need is to decompress or escape boredom, instead of scrolling, your new choice could be to read 1 page of a book or do a single puzzle. These activities provide a mental shift and a healthy distraction, satisfying that need for engagement. Remember, the new choice has to be easy. If you try to replace eating a cookie with going for a 5-mile run, you're going to fail. The replacement has to be as simple as the bad habit. The goal is not perfection. The goal is to prove to yourself, just once, that you have a choice. The neuroscience of transformation. Why this hack rewires your brain. So why does this 5-minute practice actually work? It's because it plays by your brain's own rules for change. You're actively rewiring your neural pathways through a process called neuroplasticity. Every time you complete your old habit loop, cue, routine, reward, you are strengthening that neural pathway. Think of it like walking the same path in a forest every day. Over time, that path becomes a deep rut. It's the easiest route to take. Your bad habit is that rut. This 5-minute hack is you deliberately stepping off that path and starting to clear a new one. Here's the battle in your brain. The initial urge fires from your basal ganglia, the fast, unconscious autopilot. It screams, do the thing, get the reward. But when you cut, pause and amp, identify, you engage your prefrontal cortex, the CEO part of your brain responsible for conscious decisions. You are literally overriding the autopilot with a command from the boss. When you do the mindful inquiry, you keep that CEO brain engaged. You're using its power to analyze the situation instead of just reacting. And when you make a conscious choice, you complete a new loop. The cue is there, but you inserted a new routine that leads to a new, healthier reward. A real feeling of relief or accomplishment. When you feel that healthy reward, your brain still gets positive reinforcement, but it's now tied to the new behavior. Every single time you practice this, you are physically changing your brain. You are weakening the old automatic pathway and strengthening a new conscious one. This is neuroplasticity in action. The brain isn't fixed. It can be reshaped by what you do. The first few times, the new path will feel hard. The old rut will still be calling to you. But with consistency, the new path gets easier. And the old one, unused, starts to fade. Research shows it takes time. On average, around 2 months for a new behavior to start feeling automatic, though it varies a lot from person to person. You're not just resisting a bad habit, you are systematically overriding it with a better one. Your worst habits weren't built in a day. They were built by accident, through thousands of unconscious repetitions. Your new better habits will be built on purpose, with awareness. This 5-minute brain hack isn't about being perfect. You're going to have days where the autopilot wins. That's fine. The goal isn't to never mess up. The goal is to just practice the pause. Every time you try, you strengthen your awareness muscle. You prove to yourself, again and again, that you are not a slave to your impulses. You have a choice. You just need to create the space to use it. So here is my challenge to you. Don't try to change your whole life tomorrow. Just try this once. The next time you feel the pull of a habit you hate, give yourself these 5 minutes. Pause. Ask why. And make one small, better choice. Let me know in the comments what habit you're working on. Just sharing your goal is a huge first step in making it real. By naming the habit, you are already starting the process of bringing it into the light.